This is the meeting of the Park Board of the City of Connersville, Indiana. It's going to be now in session. Vane, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Catherine would like to say something first before we get Mackenzie to start speaking.
I just want to welcome our new Park Secretary, Mackenzie Price. I will say that we had, at least 30 applicants for this position. We interviewed 3, and Mackenzie was the best of the best. I really was excited for her to join our team because of her experience with customer service. She also has very good computer skills, especially with spreadsheets, which we need some help with, as well as social media, and then also her experience in banking with balancing budgets and money handling. So she really had everything we were looking for.
Good. Well, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you to work. It's time for roll call.
Okay. Scott Keyfaber.
Here.
Carrie Pfeiffer.
Here.
Ann Kirshner.
Here.
Jeff Cooley. Vane Lashua.
Here.
Harold Gordon.
Here. All right. Very good. Okay. Need to check over the meetings from the last meeting, or check over the minutes from the last meeting. Anybody have any additions or corrections to add to that?
I move we pass it as presented.
Okay, I have a motion to move.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, the minutes are taken as is. Okay. All right, let's move on to new business. We've really already introduced Mackenzie, but once again, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Do we have to accept her?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to have a motion to accept Mackenzie as the new Park Secretary.
I move we approve Mackenzie as the new Park Secretary.
Have a first, I need a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, all right. It's
Welcome
official.
aboard.
It's official.
You get paid now.
Yeah.
Now we get somebody to holler at.
Now you can clock in.
As soon as we approve payroll, you'll get paid. So.
Okay. All right, well, very good. Move on to this next one, pool repair.
Okay, well, I don't have good news about the pool. We have a major leak at the pool. We've kind of known we've had a leak even since I started, but this year we have found that we are losing, or we're actually using twice as much water as we were using last year. We've done several tests. We've had a leak. Well, he's not a leak detection person, but a guy very experienced with pools recommended to us from our chemical guy. He's come out with another of his colleagues. We've done a couple of tests. The first one was so right now, instead of letting the pool lose water and refill it every time, we've just been letting the water run, and that helps us keep the chemicals balanced instead of filling it all the way up and then trying to balance the chemicals. So the first test we did is we let the water run as normal, but we left the valve, everything open and running. We lost 16 inches of water in 24 hours, which is like 76,000 gallons of water. The second test we did, we shut everything off. So we shut all the valves. We did it the opposite way. In 24 hours, we lost 18 inches of water, which is almost 80,000 gallons of water. So very significant problem that we have. What we're doing to fix it right now, we're just trying to make it through we have 5 more days that the pool is open. So we're open this Saturday and Sunday, and then we're open Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is Labor Day weekend. So we have 5 more days to finish. Of course, this also means that we're going through chemicals twice as fast. So we're spending quite a bit of money. What we're going to do next, the 2 gentlemen I just mentioned came back on on Friday last week. We pulled all the blueprints of the pool for them. They went through the blueprints, and they are working on a quote to remove the pool liner and resurface the bottom, so we no longer would need a liner in the pool. They're also going to look at replacing our filter, which that will definitely be secondary to fixing the leak, but while they're here looking at everything, they're going to go ahead and look at that too. We also have Natari, who is the company that installed this pool. They are working on a bid to replace the liner. So right now it's either a tear in the liner or it's something in the plumbing. We're really hoping it's the liner. The reason we did these 2 tests was to point the leak detection agency in one way or the other. With it being so close, the 16 and the 18 inches, it points more toward the liner at this point, but it's really just crazy that much water could be going out just from the liner. So the middle of September, we're going to have a leak detection agency come out. The pool will not be drained. So if anyone should ask you, it's because we're doing more testing on the leak. They're going to come out, they're going to test all of our intake, outtake, they're going to be here at least 2 days. So hopefully that will, it will at least show us what's wrong. My biggest fear is heading in the wrong direction, like for example fixing a liner for 6 figures and that not being the problem. So it's very important, I think, that we invest the money and the time, because if it is something in the plumbing and we have to dig into the pool or into the deck, that's going to be an extensive process. So,
And more expensive.
yes. So Scott and I had been looking at the budget and kind of throwing some ideas around based on our 2021 goals and saying, okay, what can we finish this year? Well, all that's out the window. Anything in the budget, anything expendable is going to have to be put toward this problem.
So has anybody been under the pool
What do you mean under it?
where the piping
Down in
is
the
and everything?
basement?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've been down
Let's say
there.
that much water, they ought to find it.
We can't find it. There's no water. The ground's not wet. It's the strangest thing.
Any hints of the sections, the new section versus?
I mean, there's 2 tears in the liner that we can see, but again, I cannot imagine 80,000 gallons of water. But I
And
don't
where is it going?
know.
Because
It's not going down the hill. It's not. I don't know. it's.
And it's not going to, that amount of water is not going to evaporate.
I know. It's like, where does it go?
Wow.
So,
So right now, the liner alone, we're talking,
I found some paperwork from, I think it was like 1997,
okay,
where they had the liner replaced, and at that time it cost $90,000.
okay.
So I think we're at least upwards of 100,000, but I
least.
haven't. He was supposed to send me the quote Friday, but he did not.
Okay, so
So
we've got that possibility as long as that's the problem.
yes, but we don't want to do that,
Right.
before we.
We got to find out if the plumbing, now if it's the plumbing underneath, probably going to double that figure
Yeah.
easily.
They'd have to jackhammer up part of that concrete.
So right now, the budget could feasibly maybe get the liner in 1 year. But if we're digging up the pool, we don't have the money in the budget to do
No.
that extra. Okay, so what are our options?
Well, I would have to talk with the clerk, but one thing that we could do, which may not be very popular, is we could reserve the money I have now. I think I can get together 100,000.
Okay,
If we could hang on to that, and then next year, we would not be able to open the pool.
that's another 70, correct?
Yeah, and then we could use what we budget for our staff, our chemicals, and our extra water bill,
Right, well,
and
yeah,
get
we
up
didn't,
close to another 100.
okay.
That could also be a choice. And it may come down to not being able to open next season. I hope not.
We didn't have it open for several years.
Right,
The pool was, in the mid-90s, was closed for 2, 3, at least 2 or 3 years.
Well, I think you should find out what our problem is first,
yeah,
and then just, because surely we could ask for maybe an additional
Yep.
above the budget, and that way we wouldn't destroy our budget, and we could open the pool.
Yep, it would
That would be
depend
the
on
only
the
way.
construction
Yeah,
timeframe
yeah.
and what all's wrong and.
right. Because right now with the park budget the way it is, there's no way we
Right.
can have that expenditure and open the pool.
So,
Yeah, we really stretched ourselves with
Mhm.
the additional money and, chemicals and water.
because I can't see the council and the mayor shutting the pool down for a year.
Well, that has to be a concern, but,
Yeah. I mean, it's not, if you're if they're looking for money, well, then maybe they won't, but I just, if the money is there, I'd say we could ask for an additional.
That's an option too.
yeah, I say that'd be the only way.
Yeah.
Because if they're not willing to chip in, I mean, we can't stretch our budget that far.
We don't have it.
I was gonna say, there's just no way to do it.
There's too many things that come up throughout the year
That's right.
to say we would go into a whole year with not spending any other money. I mean, it would
It's just-
take
no way.
everything out of other contractual and
Mhm.
out of building repairs. There's too many things that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to leave the other portion of the budget alone in something like this, so. Well, that has to be thrown out there.
Yeah, I just want to bring you guys up to speed on what's going on over there, so.
Was the loss of the water in 1 day, 1 week, what was the?
24 hours. So
24
each
hours.
test was 24 hours. And then, so after the first test, then we refilled. So we started from the same point, and then we went another 24 hours.
You said-
So,
I don't know. I can't remember how it was built, because it was built under Mayor Ellis.
Natari is the company that put it in. And so
Was
they're
he mayor?
actually coming back out.
Was he mayor when that was built?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get too serious.
I mean, that's a sandy area, so,
Look at
And that's the
pipes.
thing, it's probably just going straight down.
that's telling me the bottom's probably cracked and the water just going,
Is that the problem?
Either that or, like I said, the plumbing.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe if they pulled the liner out, you could,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they might be able to see.
maybe there is a big giant crack.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So,
It's a lot of water.
Now Jess, I did talk to Jess earlier today, and she said, forget what year she said, but during her tenure, they did repair 2 tears in the liner as well. They were having a leak, but nothing this significant.
Yeah, but those could have let go, and, because that would be the optimal way to go. Hopefully it's the liner and just move on,
Yeah.
because we can possibly swing that.
But
Yeah,
gosh,
but where
it
would 80,000 go under the liner unless it's going into the
Into the
ground?
ground, yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's
I know.
going.
Yeah.
Has to be, but
Yep.
I
I
want
would
them
have
to
thought that
prove
that
it.
amount of water would have caused some,
Evidence.
yes.
there would be some evidence of that amount of water
Not
just
if
in.
it's somewhere in the middle of the pool, it's going straight down,
Yeah.
Oh.
so, yeah.
There
you're
could
not
be an
just-
ocean under the pool that's
One of the
undiscovered.
things that we discovered when the pool was originally excavated and replaced, because I went in there and videotaped some of that, was that it leaches out from underneath the pool. And if it's leaching that much, you could have a cavern underneath the pool by now.
Really?
That would make sense, though.
We have our own little cave in there, John?
It'd be scary.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's
it could be
interesting.
like the 8th wonder in the world.
A tourist attraction.
we can make it hey,
Fiber grants.
spelunkers would love that, you
There
know.
you go. Charge admissions, that way we can repair the top side.
Well, thank you for that, you know, she gave us,
Yeah.
now I'm waiting to hear about Long Bridge.
Yeah, now you want to hear about the bridge?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Here comes some more money.
Now we've got everything out on the table about the pool, let's see what we're gonna do about Longwood Bridge.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I was giving an update at the Board of Works, or actually I was asking permission to pursue a crowdfunding opportunity to raise money for the bridge. And I had to reiterate about the engineer's opinion that the bridge could possibly fall within 5 years, which nobody knows that for sure, but that was something that was brought up during their evaluation. And I was asked by one of the Board of Works members what we are doing to prevent people from being underneath the bridge, since this has been, made news that it could possibly fall down. The only thing I can think of to prevent people, or as much as we could possibly deter people, would be to put chain link fence from the bottom of the bridge to the ground. And I said in the Board of Works meeting that would look terrible. So they should be prepared for phone calls if we go that route. But I said I would bring it up at our next meeting for your guys' discussion, if you think that's something that, or we could we could put up signage that says,
That won't
unsafe, don't go underneath the bridge, but
That won't work.
it won't, but liability-wise.
Liability-wise, yeah, it takes it off of us. But
Yeah, but if we physically want to prevent people, it would take a structure of some kind, and I don't even have the money to really install the fencing, so chain link is very expensive right now too.
Yeah, is there anybody you can talk to that does fencing that maybe you can use
Can donate.
chicken wire or
Barbed wire.
radar? Or, yeah,
Razor wire.
razor wire.
barbed wire would keep them out from under the bridge, yeah.
Yep.
But what about, and the other thing is the pickleball damage, and that's obviously trespassing of some sort we haven't been aware of, and that's another thing, if you're gonna have people, I don't know what, we don't want the damage to the pickleball, we don't want the damage to the Longwood Bridge, we don't want to have it be a liability, and so we could figure out a couple of things at the same time, because to keep people out of those areas when they're not supposed to be there.
Where are they at in pickleball? They're not supposed to be.
I don't know, you said that in here, there's damage.
Oh, when they.
Disc golf.
Oh, to disc golf?
Disc golf.
Disc golf.
Oh, disc golf,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that was.
Pickleball, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody pulled our cones up, and so there was the pickleball disc golf basket post that we take out of the ground for the fair, and then we put a cone over the piece that's left that's like that tall. Somebody went around, took took 4 of the cones up and cut the post off at the ground just to be a jerk, and then put the cone back. So now we have to dig them up, reset them, replace them. Tore up five disc golf tee mats. That carpeting costs $250 some. It's just
Well, that-
ridiculous.
That tells us that no matter what we put up there, it's not gonna matter. They're gonna find a way through it, around
Yeah.
it, under it, over it, no matter
Dig
what
a
we do.
hole.
Yeah.
So, put something up ugly, put a huge sign on it, so that way you get your liability out of the way, and, cause that just shows right there, that's why we can't have nice things.
Well, I can check
We have nice
with Brad Wilson
Yes.
too, and make sure a sign you know, potential hazard. I mean,
Right.
it could say any number
We
of
can
things.
wrap it in caution tape.
And still, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Um,
We did that on the playground and they just ripped it off.
so.
And then I got phone calls, why is the playground torn up? You're not supposed to be on it.
So the boils down to, they think it's gonna topple over. Board of Works is worried it's gonna fall on somebody, so they don't want people underneath it, even though the engineers think it's gonna fall over rather than fall down. Okay. All we can do is follow some recommendations and put some fencing up, whatever.
I'll check with insurance
Yeah,
and see what we can do
yeah, you're gonna have to do something. I
most
mean,
economically.
I think the minimum you could probably have to get done is gonna have to put some kind of signage up there telling them not to go under it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It makes sense. I'd never really considered it.
yeah,
You know,
Well,
we
they-
did block off the cars from the top.
right.
Um,
Well, I know years ago that they put the chain link up on the inside of it to keep
Yep.
the people from climbing and spray painting, but that didn't stop. So, yeah, just do what we have to do for right now to make sure, and as things get a little bit more liquid, maybe we can continue to add to it to make it better. Because we do have the final bid in on what it's gonna take to repair it, right?
yep, they're still at 250.
Okay, and we're partway there. We just have a little ways to go yet, right?
We're halfway there.
Good.
Okay.
Or-
As
10,000, yeah.
as far as the disco,
With all our other projects, that's amazing.
Yeah.
as far as the disco golf, don't a club don't they use that, a disco golf club or something like that?
There's a club.
So, I mean, you might ask them to kind of police it a little bit, and keep an eye on things. I mean, I know it's hard.
This
but-
all happened during fair.
Somebody cut them off so they could use the area?
Probably for parking.
I mean, it was one cone. And
That's interesting. I just can't figure that.
I just think people like to tear things up.
Yeah,
I just think
Okay.
some people are inclined to.
all right. Great.
Takes a lot of effort.
Mm-hmm.
It
would.
was a lot of it.
Was it
We
another?
need to get them as a volunteer on
Yeah, I was
something
gonna
else,
say.
putting up a
If you're gonna,
chain link
I mean,
fence.
It
Oh.
took somebody with the right equipment and
Yeah.
yeah, if
the
you're gonna,
intent to come with the right equipment to,
you're gonna have to have heavy equipment to do that.
yep.
Yeah.
You'd have a saw or something.
Maybe leveling it, the idea was they could use it for parking. I mean, that sounds, rather than have it.
Yeah, because those things, if you hit them, those posts, if you hit them with your car, do not bend well.
Your car does.
Yeah, done that a few times.
Okay, all right. Well, look into that and let us know how that goes. All right, the next few on here are resolutions for transfer from pool concessions to pool chemicals and repairs, transfer from park other and maintenance to park motor repair and maintenance, for resolution to transfer from park electricity to park insurance, and resolution 09 to park electricity to park gas. We basically just need a motion to do all those.
I'll make a motion, we pass resolutions 2021-6 to 2021-09.
I'll second that.
Okay, I got a first and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. All right, those resolutions pass.
One thing I'd like when they put the resolutions down there, would you mind putting off the side how much it is? You know, off to the side there a little bit, tells us how much we're transferring
It
right there.
should be in your packet.
It is.
I mean, yeah, we can put it both places, but
I didn't see it.
Oh,
Let's
the
see.
transfers on.
It's here on the request.
Is it on the request?
estimated cost $10,000 out of 441 equipment, estimated cost $15,000.
Yeah.
So that's what I assumed that
Oh,
was.
no, those are for our mower.
Oh,
and
okay.
Our mule. Maybe it's not in there. Yep, we'll add that next time.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Catherine.
Okay.
10,000.
Okay, let's move on to Dennis. How are things over at the sports?
We have, starting this Saturday, we'll be starting up the fall soccer,
Oh, good.
which we ended up with 282 kids signed up for that.
Good.
And then the following week, we'll start up the little machine pitch softball that we got 4 teams, 44 kids signed up for 18U.
Okay.
And then we tried to do a younger one too, but we didn't get enough numbers to have a younger. So that'll be our only 2 things that we're running at this time.
Is
Okay.
that why we had so many refunds?
Yeah. And it was just about enough for almost 2 teams. And we tried to go ahead and let them figure out how to play something, but it was at the bare minimum. And coaches didn't really want to do it. And it was only 2 teams playing each other every single time. And with the bare minimum to where 1 or 2 kids misses and then they're going to be forfeiting instead of putting down enough numbers.
Right.
So they just left it up for an option for them, and the coaches, and they chose against it, so we just refunded them.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that soccer's already started out there. They got kids all over the place out there now.
Yes, they are.
That's good.
Yes.
Very good.
And with all the road construction, it's an adventure to get there.
Well, when you get there, it's an adventure to get out.
Tell me about it. I live around the corner, yeah.
Okay, well, that's great.
Well, one thing we're going to be looking at out at soccer, we do have a bunch of extra millings. We're going to look at expanding that lot
Okay.
on the north side and try to make that a little bit bigger.
Deeper
So,
back in there.
yeah.
That'd be great.
That would be great.
But people are going to have to use it
Yeah,
and not just try to park. I mean, just because you can't park right beside the fence doesn't mean there's not parking
right.
available.
I mean, because a lot of the times when we got those issues that people think is a big issue, really is not. There's still quite a bit of parking.
You just
On
have
that north
to walk.
side, they don't want
Yeah.
to go up there.
Yep. You can generally see when it's full on Saturdays, all the parking on the south end and people parking across the street and everything. And then you look at the north end and there's
Or they
10
park
cars
on
there.
the highway and then they
Mhm.
say it's unsafe, but there is still
And the
more
same way
parking.
with, because there was an accident last year, and some of that was due to the rain, where everybody was scattering at the same time, but down here on that east end, there's 2 or 3 signs down through there that says no parking,
Mhm.
and there's still parking there, and the
Yep.
bad part about that is, when they park there, there is barely enough room for the 1 car.
I know.
Yeah.
And when they're going both ways,
And now I've seen that they're parking on even the east side of that road up on the field. They're backing into that where the
field.
rope has been torn down or removed.
yeah,
Probably ought to get something put back up there.
That red rope?
Well, you got that drive on the east side that goes to the north parking, but you've got the rope that goes along the fields, and then on the other side, next to the field we gave back, there's no rope there anymore. Just the poles. Somebody's,
Like on the church side?
yeah.
Yeah, behind
Yeah.
the church.
I think they're going to put a fence in.
Well, the church has blocked it off and made sure, but that, where it's not the church property anymore,
Okay.
yeah, the rope's gone. So I think somebody pulled it out or just backed over it enough that it finally broke.
We'll go out there and look at it.
that's probably definitely the biggest issue though, is parking along that,
Mm-hmm.
where the no parking signs are.
Yeah, I know.
Because and I've got probably 10, 15 people complaining about it all the time, and usually when I'm out there, I even try to police it a little bit with,
Mhm.
if I catch them parked there, asking them to move, and
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
no, they just want to park there.
And I'm glad you say that because we've had several issues come up, like different places, where I've had to say just that. We do not have park patrolmen. The best we can do is make a rule, post the signage,
Right.
and hope people are courteous enough to follow the rules. You know, we don't have people out on the weekends policing parking lots and shelters and the trail. We don't have that kind of manpower. You know, it's just, that expectation is just not realistic, so.
Right. Guess you can make the
I was
signs
glad,
bigger.
when you say I'm not a patrolman, it's like we try, but, you know,
Yeah, that's
there's
the
lots of things
unfortunate
like
part.
that come up that,
Yeah, we don't expect you guys to be out there doing that. Your job is to make sure that the program goes good. I mean, if you're out there dealing with parking all the time, that takes away from what you're supposed to be doing. So, okay. All right. Now on to Catherine.
so this is the report that I give to the Board of Works and City Council once a month. So we are asking for a new lawnmower, which was approved. I have the mower that we want, but they're just very hard to get right now because of COVID. So we're waiting on that. And then we're also shopping for another mule vehicle. But I have to get the 3 estimates and then get that approved at the next Board of Works. In happier news, Ben Houston at Hillfi is donating a new sound system to the amphitheater. So that's really exciting. He was in today, and he's going to meet. Most of the equipment is housed in the announcer's stand in the infield of the track, which is the fair boards. So he's going to go out there with the fair board president on Friday and see what they have and see how he can make it better. And the speakers in the amphitheater are blown, and those will definitely be replaced. So very excited and thankful for Ben and Hillfi giving us that new sound system. A couple other things on here. There is a big pile of dirt out at Frazee. We're just waiting to level it, so if somebody says anything to you, we know. The canoe launch, the road up and down the hill is terrible. I know, it's awful. We have the millings, and we're just getting the time to get out there with the tractor and spread those and make that road a little bit better. Cleo, we bought a product called potting that we think, well, the guy that came out and worked on the fountain a couple years ago, he came back. It's a product that you can pour down the conduit where the electric runs, and it basically seals the conduit back together. So if the water is leaking into the electrical conduit and then that's what's backing into the electric box, this product will stop it. So it's about a $500 fix, so we're hoping that works. We bought a little bit extra so we could practice with it first. It's something you have to mix for a set amount of time, and then if you mix it too long, you've ruined it, and if you don't mix it enough, you've wasted it. So let's buy an extra bag, and but that's definitely, because our next step would be possibly having to dismantle the fountain, which we don't want to have to get into. I did want to mention, I mentioned at the Board of Works that the DNR will be stocking trout in mid-October at Smalley's Pond, and they will be doing that every year if they have a surplus. Again, that won't support game fish because of the vegetation is not adequate. Had a gentleman call today and ask a really good question about licensing. Yes, you do need a fishing license to fish at Smalley's, and yes, you do need a trout stamp if you are fishing for trout. So if the DNR were to catch you, yes, you would be fined. And we'll get that posted on Facebook, where you can get a license and how much it costs and that kind of thing. It's not very expensive. And then just to let you know, a little bit about what the grounds crew has been doing. I don't know if you've noticed, but we have a brand new fence going up around the shop. It's really nice. They finished the front of it today with a cattle gate, so people who don't belong up at the shop no longer drive up there.
Good.
Or walk up there, hopefully, unless they jump the gate. They do have the back side of the shop to do, but that's looking really good. Again, we've been working up at Frazee, and cleaning up the fair took the better part of a week, bringing all our tables back and things like that. Another issue that we're dealing with is we had a leak again in the Miller building. The furnace leaked down the wall again into the boys' bathroom on the gym side. I think we finally have that fixed now, and so that drywall is having to be taken out, and Hartzell's is drying it, and then once it's dry, then our crew will go in and have to re-drywall and repaint and fix the bathroom. So
Did they find where the leak was coming from then?
yeah, I guess what they determined was the problem was whenever it was installed, it wasn't quite level, and so it was basically just overflowing, and it overflows in the back of the unit, which is right up against the wall, so then it
Okay.
just goes right down the wall.
Does it have a tray underneath it?
Yeah, but it was, well, what we thought was,
Overflowing it?
yeah, we thought what was happening was when we had summer camp, that the doors were being left open, and then the unit was just overworking, and so all the condensation was, so we thought we had it fixed, but then last week it did it again, and camp is over, so we knew it wasn't camp. But yeah, I think we have it fixed now. So,
Good.
yeah, that's kind of an update on everything they're up to.
Can you give us an update on the budget? We have filled ours out and everything?
Yeah. We won't be getting any additional. It'll be basically the same as this year, so I don't know. It would be it.
And with the pool, that means we have to watch pretty closely. Okay.
We would be at about 930, 500 again for 2022. But with all the COVID starting up again.
You said 930, 500?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's where it was exactly almost last year. No
Well,
more,
we
no
got
less.
cut. Oh, I think I have that with me. Oh no, it's in my budget folder.
Okay. Yeah.
We got cut about $40,000, so it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And I did ask for that back, but no.
Well, that was before they knew about the pool.
Yes, it was before
Yeah.
the pool.
So that'd be a good place for you to go, because they may just say, hey, if you need it, you come and ask for an additional.
So, yeah.
Gonna say, use it as leverage.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty, thank you, Catherine. Old business, anybody got anything you want to discuss in old business? Okay, move on to miscellaneous business. Nothing there.
I have one thing.
One thing. Okay.
I wanted to let you guys know that I got a call from the people, or the guys that helped us from St. Gabriel's last year with the trunk or treat, and I was told that they are going to keep that at the church this year. So they will not be partnering with us to do a trunk or treat. So we're going to be throwing some ideas around about how we can do our party differently. I really liked it outside. It was more festive. It just flowed better. Obviously with COVID, it was required. So if anybody would like to help with ideas or planning for the Halloween party, let me know, because we should probably get started on that pretty soon.
You might reach out to a couple of other the churches that do the trunk or treat things. Calvary Baptist, no, not Calvary.
Temple.
Temple,
does.
Baptist Temple does that, and they might be interested in partnering. Because that worked really well, having the two groups. And I don't know if the biker church does something like that too. So that might be another resource to reach out and say, you know, St. Gabriel's did it last year, they chose not to this year, would you like to join us? And we've got a lot of really good publicity about that and how well it works. So it might be worth a shot to try to talk to them at Baptist Temple or the biker church.
Okay. Alrighty. Next we'll move on. Need to get a motion to accept claims, including payroll. I didn't see any issues this month in any of that. I have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor of claims, including payroll, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay. Claims, including payroll, has been accepted.
You get your first check now, Mackenzie?
Yeah, you have to get paid now. All right, let's turn it over to the public. Okay. I think that's gonna be a no. All right, all I need is somebody to motion to adjourn. Unless anybody has anything else to share.
I move with you adjourn.
I have them first.
Second.
I got a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.